Welcome to practice. I'm Donna Cavanough. We're going to be laying down and we're going to use a prop to support underneath the shoulder blades. So I've folded my blanket so it's long and narrow. It goes across the mat and it's not too high. You could use a bolster, but you might need another pillow for under your head. It's to open the front ribs and the joints between the breastbone and the front ribs. So you want to get that feeling. And if I lay my arms out, they're not on the blanket, they're almost on the floor. And front and back of the throat, feeling even in length. You don't want to feel like you're stretching the front of the throat, trying to reach the floor. Put in a little extra support under your head if that's the case. Or you don't have to use the blanket under your shoulder blades, of course. Arms out from the shoulders as best you can. You can always fold them in if you have a sore shoulder, as I do. I'm taking some nice deep breaths. And particularly paying attention to that volume in the lungs and the ribs. And the feeling of your spine behind your shoulder blade pressing forward rather than falling back. So we get that activation of all the little muscles along the spine that help to hold the spine upright. And we activate them by pressing the spine forward. And here, the blanket is doing the work for you. So you can bring that knowledge with you now as you roll over to the right side. And come into a seated position. You can sit up onto that blanket, just so your legs are comfortable. And bringing that body knowledge of your thoracic spine and pressing the bones of your thoracic spine forward. Still taking some deep and satisfying breaths. Letting your head feel just beautifully balanced on your spine. Shoulders relaxed. Great. Take some shoulder roll. Nice big shoulder roll. Other direction. And then arms out from your shoulders, palms up. And we're going to make little circles. And as you do those circles, we're going to reach the thumbs to the back of the movement. And you might feel the muscles between your shoulder blades working. You might even be able to feel the core of your body really working to lift your spine so you don't lose that lovely feeling of the bones of the spine pressing forward. And you're breathing. Great. And then we'll turn the palms down and take the circles in the other direction. But still try to reach your small fingers to that back part of the movement. Lovely. And release. We're going to take hold of either your blanket or put your hand under your right sit bone and lean your body to the left. And lean your left ear to your left shoulder. I'm going to take some nice deep breaths and really let that right side lengthen. Might be your arm, shoulder, or neck. It'd be lovely if we could let the stretch into them. We're trying to keep the front body in one plane here. So we're not adding any twist to the neck. Excuse me. And coming up, I might have to have a drink of water. We're going to go to the second side. Put your left hand under your sit bone or hold your blanket. Some way of anchoring your left hand. And then leaning your body over. And really lean your right ear to your right shoulder. And until you start to feel that stretch. Keep going. I have a sip of water. And back up to center. Nice work. We're going to take the head and turn the face to the left side and stretching the neck that way. And then to the front and then turning to the right. And to both sides again, left. Just the neck, not the torso. And to the right. Lovely. Bring the arms into a cactus arm position. Relax your neck. And we want to, in this position, really express being able to draw the back of the hand back as far as they'll go. So your elbows are out from your shoulders. And if you were doing this against a wall, we'd be trying to get the shoulder blades, the elbows, and the backs of the hands in one plane, which doesn't work for everyone, and it can be different from side to side, as I am. But as much as you can, everything heading back, except the bones of the spine heading forward. All right, and then we're going to lift the arms up to straight without bringing them forward. So try to follow the imaginary wall behind you and back into your cactus pose. As straight as you can. So keep the movement back in your hands and the bones of the spine forward. Good, neck relaxed. Nice work. And release. Just feeling that work in the shoulders and the neck and finding space there. The flow of your breath. Great. Swap your legs the other way if you've had them crossed. And we're going to find our sideways movement. And we'll do that with a spinal wave, side wave. Imagine you could lead this wave with your diaphragm. So that lower cross section of your rib cage. So left ribs go left and everything follows. And right ribs go right and everything follows. And letting everything follow with fluidity. Even the neck. and back up to center. And just checking in that your neck is nice and relaxed and you still have that feeling in your body of being able to bring the bones of the spine forward. Great. We're going to take or bring this feeling into all fours. Give your hands a good stretch, so fingers out wide, press your fingerprints, and simply arching the spine up and down here in the cat stretch. And of course, we do both the directions here. We have the bones of the spine pressing back towards the ceiling, the hunchback shape, and then what it feels like to bring them forward. And we want to be able to keep both those movements, but gravity tends to the hunchback shape. It's what seems to happen in the thoracic spine. So if we think about the spine behind your heart and your lungs, and bringing those bones, beautiful. Keep that shape. So hold this bones forward and come into forward virasana. So knees out wide, big toes touching, hips as close to the heels as your knees allow, and reaching your hands as far forward as your shoulders allow, and lengthening armpits. And then we're going to take the hands across to the left side. And you're particularly going to reach with the right hand the right side of the body. And then we're going to reach hands across to the opposite side. I think I might have got my left and right muddled up. But if you really reach to the right side with your left arm, the left side of the body will lengthen. And coming back to center. Lovely. Come on to all fours. We're going to tuck the toes under and knees off the floor. And heels are going to press down. We're going to wave the hips from side to side or let them start heading towards the floor. And as you do that movement, you're going to find your core body stabilizing. So we've got the fingers out wide, even spaces, bringing the bones of the thoracic spine forward. Great. Now from here, come back to center, bring the knees just off the floor so you don't quite touch down. And do the same thing with the hips. The hips fall from side to side, so you can just move your feet accordingly and try to bring the thoracic spine forward. We're going to lift the breastbone. We're going to look forward. Feel the core body stabilizing. Nice work. And resting into child's pose now. Bring your hands back beside you. Oh, enjoying the flow of every breath. And then inhale and come up and come into all fours again. For our pigeon pose, we're going to bring the left knee to the left wrist. Now, a word on knees. If it's difficult or painful for you to twist your knee in any way, then don't. Keep your foot instead under your sit bone. So don't twist your knee. Otherwise, you can bring your left foot forward towards the right wrist, and we're going to slide the right leg back. So we're bringing the hips as close to the floor as you can, but depending on your body, you might find that your sit bones are away from the floor. So if we take that blanket and make some padding between your left sit bone and the floor, it can feel much more supportive. Good. We want to activate the back leg. So press the foot down and squeeze the right buttock muscle. Lovely. Come up onto your fingertips. Wrap them around imaginary tennis balls. Squeeze there. And lift up onto straight arms. Lift your chest. Look up. Thoracic spine forward. And finding deep and satisfying breath. And as the back foot presses down, let the hips sink towards the floor. Good. And then we're going to bring this back bend shape of the torso out and over the floor in front. Walk your hands out. So your arms can be straight here, walking out further or sliding, or even elbows onto the floor. But we want to keep the hips level to the floor, the torso level to the floor. Finding the flow of your breath. Good. And then we're going to walk the hands back and step back into your all fours position. Good. Take the spine up and down a little, just letting go of tension. Good. Walk your right knee to your right wrist. So any twisting in the knee, if you are not able to do that, just keep your foot where it's landed under your right sit bone. Otherwise, we'll scoot the right foot forward towards the left hand and slide the left leg. Find padding underneath your right sit bone to help you be a little more comfortable in this difficult posture. Activate your back leg. Press the foot, squeeze the buttock muscle. Good. Wrap the hands around imaginary tennis balls and up onto the fingertips. Bring your hands in as close as you can so you find your back bend. And we're going to lift the torso, draw the bones of the spine forward and looking up. Back leg is active. The hips are sinking towards the floor as much as you can. Good. And then we're going to take the back bend shape of the torso forward. Walk the hands forward. You can try elbows to the floor. You can try arms out in front. We keep the torso level, hips level, back leg active, buttock squeezing. Good. And then walk the hands back in. Find your little back bend for a moment. Good. And then we're going to release. And we are in our all fours. And then tucking your toes under. We're going to lift the knees just off the floor and lower. We're going to do that a few times. Hands or fingers are wide, even spaces. Press the fingerprints down. Ooh. Feel the work involved in your thighs, your core body, as you lift and lower, lift and lower. Nice work. Now, to stretch that, let's take a kneeling position. If kneeling is out of the question, take child's pose, or as best as your knees are comfortable with, or just a seated position. If you make some support, I've only got a little blanket here, so I'm just folding it so it's about a yoga block size. That is going to go underneath my sit bones. Heels are in nice and tidily under your hips, so that your thigh bones are parallel to each other. Finding your Virasana, hero pose. Virasana stretches the front of the thigh, which is a really good idea and good for digestion. So we're going to feel the bones of the spine, the thoracic spine forward, and we're going to take the arms up by the ears. And if you take hold of your left wrist with your right arm, we're going to draw length into the left side of the body, lifting the left arm up. Good, and then swap sides, hold the right wrist and lift the arms, really stretching through the right side. Beautiful. And then releasing. And we're going to kneel up just for a moment, tuck the toes under. And you can keep your hands on the floor here to see how you go, lowering your weight back to your heels. You might be able to sit up onto your heels. Good. And think about standing up from where you are. So you might have to take a few different movements to get to standing, or I'm going to try and just lift my knees from the floor, press the heels and stand up. Coming to the front of the mat, short front of the mat. Ooh. Okay. Tadasana. Standing up onto the balls of the feet. And lowering down slowly. Great. Now you can either repeat that 2 feet at a time, or you can try 1 foot at a time. So if you bring your right tiptoes to the floor just for a third point of balance, and try lifting up onto the ball of the left foot and lowering down slowly. Beautiful. And then swap sides. So lift up onto the left tiptoes, lift up onto the ball of the right foot and lowering down slowly. Take it slow, excuse me for 1 second. And then Tadasana, mountain pose. We're going to try that again, and you can stick with lifting up onto the ball of both feet if you find that challenging. If you're able to manage lifting up with the tiptoes on the floor, let's try taking a balance hold. So that might be lifting the foot higher, or even holding your knee or your foot. And now try lifting up onto the ball of the left foot. And lowering down slowly. Good. And then swapping sides. So we'll lift up the left leg, however you're going to work that, and lifting up onto the ball of the right foot. And lowering down slowly. Oh, a little bit of work to do there. Tadasana. Urdhva Hastasana. And Uttanasana. Standing forward bend. Bend the knees a little. Bring the bones of the spine forward, looking forward. Oh. Mm. We're going to let the legs start to really stretch here by doing one at a time, finding your biggest stretch. And we don't want to let go of the preciousness of that feeling in the thoracic spine, so that the thoracic spine is not making a hunchback shape up to the ceiling. The bones are pressing forward. We feel the spaciousness in the lung and around the heart. Try straightening through both legs now. Good. We'll go for making that a little bit stronger by bending your knees and lean your elbows on your knee. We want to reach the ribs forward, even head the torso to the right and head the torso to the left. So you'll feel your ribs starting to lengthen. And you're trying to walk your ribs further and further along the thigh. Good. So the legs are bent and we can feel the lower back lengthening. Now we're going to try and join the ribs to the thigh and keep them there, so as close as you can, and now start to try and straighten your legs. Whoa, lifting kneecaps, lifting quadriceps, keep your neck nice and relaxed, and your elbows are just resting up on your thighs. Okay, so when you get into that position, now we're going to take the arms, and you can hold your legs or you can take them on the floor and look up. Just activate again your thoracic spine. Beautiful straight legs. Taking nice deep breaths. What a beautiful Uttanasana. Good. And then we're going to bend the the knees, or the back of the legs, and rolling up and looking up. And Tadasana. Great. Let's step the left foot back for Trikonasana. So you step your foot back your own leg length distance, left foot back, and you try to land or wiggle into position, right heel lining up with the center of the left foot inner arch. And then your hips are probably at a 45-degree angle to the side of your mat-ish. Let's see if we can bring the front of the torso, the front of the hips, the ribs, to face the long edge of the mat, and lift your kneecaps so your legs feel really strong. Beautiful. Take your arms out from your shoulders. We're going to reach back to the left side and then reach out to the right side and keep reaching. Keep reaching your right hand out as far as you can, and we're feeling the right hip crease. I'm going to take the right arm down and the left arm up. I have to go into that from the front. And we're rolling back the left side of the body, shining the heart up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. And coming up. Nice. We're going to step the left foot back towards the short front end of the mat and balance on the right foot when you do that. Yep. Take your left foot into a balance challenge. So that means you might have your tiptoes on the floor, lifting the foot just off the floor. You might be up to holding your knee. You want to challenge yourself. So some people are even up to holding their foot. And if you're doing that, try and hold with your left hand, left foot, and keep the leg as much as you can in line with your left rib. Good. And then we're going to slowly release that side, finding just exactly where the foot's going to go before you transfer your weight. Enjoying that deliberate movement. Tadasana. Great. Urdhva Hastasana. Hands in Namaste. Big step back with the right foot for Trikonasana. So if you look at your feet, they're about as far apart from each other as your leg is long. Your left heel lines up with the right inner arch. I'm sure you've heard it before. Lift the kneecaps. And we think about the direction that the hips are facing, the ribs are facing. See if you can turn your torso, your pelvis, so that the front of your torso and your hips are facing the long edge of the mat. Notice what that entails. Beautiful. Take your arms from your shoulders and we're going to reach back through the right fingertips to begin with. Whoa. And then the opposite direction. We're going to reach through the left. Really lift the left arm, reaching the left ribs, and take your hand, left hand down onto your leg and your right arm up. Oh, finding the flow of the breath. And that feeling of the right side of your body rolling back so that the heart shines outward, upward. Maybe we'll take that feeling into our day. Lengthening, strengthening. Beautiful Trikonasana. Lifting up. We're going to step forward and be balanced on the left foot. Oh. I can't quite make it. Find your balance now. So that might be tiptoes on the floor here. Maybe lifting the foot a little, maybe a lot, maybe holding your knee or even your foot. Right foot, right hand. Challenging yourself. Standing tall, keeping the feeling of your thoracic spine, pressing forward so the lungs are spacious. Good. And placing the foot deliberately where it's going to go. Transferring weight. Nice. From here, taking a seat, and you might be able to just squat down, finding yourself quite close to the floor. Give your feet a little wiggle around so you know they can be flexible enough for the next part, and sitting without falling back. Or sitting however it makes sense. Let's come back to sitting. Actually, you don't need your blanket. We're going to be just flat on the floor. Take the feet out in front. Legs bend. I do love this pose. 1990 in modern parlance, or swastikasana preparation. Set the feet wide, the knees wide. Let's take the knees to the floor on the right. So when the knees lie down, sort of got a 90 degree at both knees. The trick here is keeping the distance between the knees. So you lift the left and you want to keep your maximum distance as the knees travel over to the left side. And it's not until the left one lays down that you lay down the right knee. Okay, now I'm doing this without my hands on the floor, but I find that my back is bowing, making a hunchback. So I want to keep the awareness of the thoracic spine as I do this. So I'm going to use my hands on the floor to keep sitting up nice and tall. And so you might start off like that and then attempt to do it with the hands in front. Side to side. Keep the distance between the knees. The way the body wants to make an efficiency here is just for one knee to quickly follow the other. Slow yoga. Trying to make deliberate movement. It should feel awkward and difficult. You're doing it right. Good. And then releasing. It's a lovely sequence for hip health. Let's see. Blanket. We're going to sit onto that. For Bharadvajasana, wise sage pose. Take your mermaid legs over to the right. Now, where your feet land is up to your knees. Your legs might be out in your mermaid tail, or you might be able to tuck them right in under your feet, right in under your right hip. Classically, you would put the top of your right foot in the sole of your, the top of your left foot in the sole of your right foot. But not everybody is built like that. We're going to turn to the left, and you're going to lean back. Now, when you lean back, and the more you lean back, the more you'll realize you can twist your core body. Really nice pose for getting a good stretch in these strong abdominal core muscles. To see if you can find your belly stretch. Oh, the ribs turning. And then we keep the belly stretched, but then we bring the torso back to upright for the classic posture. Keep turning the ribs now and looking over the shoulder. And then we're just going to find the breath. We're going to find a little longer time in the exhalation. Feeling all that potential movement in your body. And how good it feels to breathe in after holding the exhalation. Lovely. And then releasing that side. Swing your mermaid tail over to the left. And that would be the top of the right foot in the sole of the left foot. If you're classically inclined. Turning to the right side, and then let's find that deeper stretch in the abdomen by leaning back. Ooh, really reaching the skin of the belly button or the belly to the right, taking the right ribs back. And then we're going to sit up from there. Finding that little longer exhalation. And releasing and coming back to center. We're going to make a little forward and back way. Letting go of tension from the spine. Tuning in to our suppleness. And there's an opposite direction to that spinal wave. And then sitting tall. Bring your hands in front of your heart. And take the feeling of the practice with you. Namaste.